All right, guys, lobbing some big bore pills downrange today with the Henry 4570. This one's an all-weather, big loop, side loading gate, boys and girls. All right, it's gonna be brutal from the bench, but you know what? For science, we're gonna do it because there's nothing like slinging 4570, because sometimes you just need to throw bowling balls at things. Okay? Yeehaw. All right, 100. Okay, we're gonna dial up to 8. We've got our Leupold custom dial system, 1 to 4, gold ring VX3i. I love these things. Great, great, great optics. Been very happy with them. Dialing up to 8 MOA to get out to 200 with a 300 grain pill. Okay, we're gonna dial up to 300, 13.1 MOA, which also, oddly enough, is about maximum amount of elevation that we've got in this optic. It is a 1.5 to 5 power Leupold here, sitting in a set of tally rings. Okay, we're gonna get out to 300 yards with the 4570. That's quite a drop.
Just left.
All right, woo! All right, guys. Always a good day to be out at the range. We finally got one of these all-weather Henrys in 4570. We've done some work with these. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the last one that we did the video on was the standard tube-fed version and not the loading gate version. They do have a version of this rifle out now in their X series. They are threaded, and I believe those have a black finish. And I'll have to stand corrected. I'm not sure if they're doing a threaded all-weather just yet or not. If they are, I'm going to try to get my hands on one because I've got a couple of big bore cans that I need to test out that would be a lot of fun to run on something like a 4570. I feel like a 1.5 to 5 is a perfect optic to put on this type of a gun, just because for most of the shots that we're going to have on deer here in Georgia, 100 yards and in is about your typical distance. I mean, we just logged some shots at 200, 300, 50, 100, and the gun was perfectly capable of getting out to a wide variety of different ranges. I'm gonna go ahead and dial back down to 0. These optics are great. You've got that 0 stop button in there that clicks back in place once you get back down to 0 elevation. I've always been a fan of the tally rings on these, which is a perfect complement for the Henry. They are obviously drilled and tapped for optics bases, as you can clearly see here. I love that the fact that the lever is not ridiculously large. It is a little bit bigger just for those glove fingers to get in there a little bit easier. I didn't put the hammer extension on this particular one, but if you're wearing gloves and you need to be able to, drop the hammer with gloves on, it is handy to have the hammer extension. That's an accessory that Henry sells on their website. You can get. They're not too terrible in terms of cost. And I love these rifles. We've done a lot of work with the Henrys, and there's something to be said about the big bore offerings. Henry does a lot of their single shots, and we did a video on the 4570 single shot that was quite a bit of fun. This particular one is a smooth profile barrel, so not an octagonal barrel on this particular one. And the brushed stainless finish, so you get this kind of nice brushed finish. Doesn't really spook game quite as much as something that's highly polished out. So it has this kind of nice matte finish and this blacked out stock, which is great. Very effective recoil pad on these Henrys. You've got a set of sling studs, which you can obviously, drop whatever type of sling you want on there. You can load it from the tube or from the side gate, which is really handy. This one holds 5+1. I was able to get a 6th round from the front end of the tube though. Loading number 6 into the loading gate was a little bit tough to get in from the rear. I could get 5 in from the loading gate, but then I had to drop the tube to get a number 6 in there. So take that for what you will. I think in a hunting situation, you're probably just gonna run this as a 5+1 in the chamber. very lightweight and easy to carry around, a very easy gun to maneuver in the woods, out in the deer field, whatever you're trying to do. And I love 4570. I've always been a fan of the cartridge. There's just something to be said about big bore power, a big hole, a big chunk of lead, and with proper shot placement, you know, this gun will most certainly kill just about any animal that walks on this continent. There are a lot of different projectile choices for the 4570, which you know, lends it to a wide variety of different situations. Plenty of solids. Barnes makes a great 4570 projectile. There's the stuff from Fort Scott Munitions, the TUI that we tested, which works exceptionally well. It's a turned copper solid. Those projectiles are great. Lehigh, Underwood, all of those guys do some really ridiculously great 4570 rounds that are very, very effective. The ammunition that we're shooting here is just some Winchester Super X, regular old soft point, you know, relatively basic ammunition that you can find, well, I don't know about right now, but usually you can find just about anywhere. And this is a 300 grain soft point. I'm also a fan of the Hornady FTX projectiles. They do fly a lot flatter. They have a much flatter trajectory and require a lot less dope to get out to longer ranges. Generally with the FTX projectiles, you're also going to have a overall general lighter weight. I think those come in at about 250 grains as opposed to the 300 in this. And the nice thing about 4570 is you do get into the territory where you can stabilize with these rifles a wide variety of different projectile weights. You can go, you know, lightweight on the 200 grain, maybe as light as a 200, all the way up to probably as much as a 500 grain bullet or more, depending on the twist of the gun. But the Henrys shoot really good with heavies, and I find that the 325 grain and 300 grain bullets shoot really good out of this particular gun. The 250 grain FTXs do quite well, and I believe the Hornady FTX is also available, I believe, in a 325, if I'm not mistaken. Both the heavies and the lights shoot exceptionally well and offer really flat trajectories. I've actually shot quite a few animals with the FTX, and it's a great projectile. I have not shot any animals with this particular loading from Winchester. This just happened to be some of the ammo I had laying around. I am going to take some more shots at 300 because we're here, we might as well. Chad was doing some initial accuracy testing with this rifle the other day, and at 50 yards, he was shooting about an 1.5 inch group, which for a big bore rifle with this much recoil is certainly not bad, and especially in a deer hunting situation, you're going to be totally, you know, right in the ballpark you need to be in to put a round humanely and accurately into the boiler room of any animal. No problem in terms of a deer hunting situation. There's just something about the big bore power of a 4570. It's got a nice mixture of mass, okay, and speed. And with the different bullet weights, you can really accomplish a lot of things with these guns. Make them a lot of fun to shoot. And, you know, they do kick a bit from the bench, but not too terrible. We are running our new Caldwell Rock BR. This is their bench rest style rest. Caldwell saw that our old rest was kind of shot apart and basically being held together with hopes and dreams and duct tape, and they offered to send us a fresh rest, so we definitely appreciate them there. And our old shooting bench literally fell apart, and the cows went over there and molested it, and it looks like a pile of scrap wood right now, so we're using one of their portable shooting tables. So worth noting there. Thank you to Caldwell for helping us out there. I think our old shooting rest was going on about 10 years, so definitely in need of a replacement. So really cool stuff. All right, 300 yards with the 4570. We're maxed out on our elevation. This particular gold ring Leupold does use the custom dial system, okay? With the custom dial system, you can actually send in the dope for your exact round, okay? That you want to use, you know, send them your data, and that can actually make you custom turrets for just about any Leupold, which is kind of nice. So if you got your favorite pet load you like out of whatever rifle, that's a great way to have your turret set up just for your rifle, your load, you as a shooter. And that way, when you're in the field, you laser an animal, he's 200 yards away, you can boop, put it on 2, go in for the shot, make it happen. Okay? All right, 300, woo! You ready?
Give it a slight right hold.
Okay.
About like quarter of the plate width.
You got it.
Yep.
right, I got a good hold right there. That went over the top, didn't it?
Yeah, you must have pulled that one high.
I did. Saying it really is not bad to shoot from the bench, Chad. Wow. Woo! Okay, couple more rounds. That might be about all my shoulder can handle for this. So when it comes to shooting 45-70s, you know, they can be a little bit on the top end of the recoil impulse. I mean, especially with a heavier projectile, a load that is towards the top end a bit. One bit of advice that I could have for somebody that maybe if you've never shot a 45-70 before, try shooting it offhand. You'd be surprised how gentle of a recoil impulse these will have if you can kind of roll with that recoil a little more offhand. I've got a 9.3 by 62 hunting rifle. It's a Ruger M77, an older one. And that gun actually has more recoil than this one. But for some reason, I don't know if it's the stock design on the Henry or what, but I feel like this thing is absolutely brutal to shoot from the bench. And I think it's just because of the heavy projectiles. I mean, there's a lot of mass going down range and it's moving really fast. So that's a combination for some insane power when you start adding speed and mass. That's an equation you can't deny and getting there, okay? All right, couple of more shots and we're gonna shoot at 300, why not? Just to have some fun here. All right, we're gonna get in there though. I'm gonna go 5 for 5, maybe. That wind's blowing.
A little bit.
Wow, that hit high, didn't it?
Yeah, slightly high and left.
Well, it sure did. Huh, I'll be dang. That wind is blowing.
Give it a little more right hold, about another quarter plate width.
Okay. All right, I can't count. That's okay.
I didn't see whether you flinched.
I probably did. I mean, this thing it's a Brutus, man, to shoot from the bench. There's no doubt about that. I like 45-70, and we want to make this quick video, let you guys have a little fun, maybe relish in my pain. Oh, my shoulder. You know when you're getting a little older, when you grimace a little more when you shoot that real heavy recoil and stuff, you know. But I do love these guns, and they are exceptional, and I've always had really good luck. And see, with this custom dial system, I can just go right back down to 0. Now we're back to a 50, 100-yard 0. It's nice and flat. With a 45-70 with 50-yard 0, at 150, you're spot on. And then, of course, it's going to be pretty elliptical as you get out to the longer ranges. Yeah, 13.1 MOA to get that 300 out to 300 yards. So definitely not a short distance shot. That's probably not the kind of shot you would take at an animal on the regular, but it is nice to know the gun will do it. Guys, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed my pain here in this particular video. Definitely a brutal rifle, both on the receiving end and the shooter's end. But if you can handle it, and if you really need some big bore power, Henry's got you covered on that for sure. And we love our Henrys here, and we've always had good luck out of them. I will get one of the X series rifles out as soon as possible, and we would love to suppress one of these Henrys and have a little fun with those. I believe we already got one of the 357 Magnums out to do a video on that, so we did suppress that. And man, the 357 Magnum X series, if you're looking for something to suppress and you still want enough power to be able to take down game, and let's just say maybe you're a little bit shy of the extreme recoil of a 45-70, the 357 Magnum might be something worth looking at because you can still get some exceptional power inside of 100 yards for deer hunting purposes. And with the X series, you can suppress it, which is nice. And the recoil is, I wouldn't say non-existent, but definitely nowhere near the amount of recoil that this rifle produces. So that might be worth looking at. But in a future video, we'll get a hold of a 45-70 X series and we'll have some fun with that and see how they suppress everything like that. So have a great day, guys. We appreciate you watching here today. Definitely want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters, those of you who purchase man cans, t-shirts over on Ballistic Inc., all that type of stuff. If you love the channel and you want to support what we do, those are the most direct ways that you can do so if you want. Thank you very much. Many more videos on the way. We'll see you soon.